Welcome back to another video. This is going to be the same as last year when I did games played in 2018, but this time it's games played in 2019. And I actually did not film this in time to be in 2019. It is 2020. Happy New Year. I am filming this on the new year on January 1st, 2020. Alright, so this video is going to go the same way as the last one did in 2018. So if you have seen that one a year ago, it's going to be pretty much the same format where I'll go through all the games that I played in 2019, starting with the 2019 games, and then going through the years of the older games I played that I finally got to or played more this year. And of course, starting with the least hours played to the most hours, it's about approximately 1,000 hours this year. It's really cool that I could get like the actual hours of time played because I did the video last year. So it's kind of cool to see exactly where I spent my time gaming this year. Overall, it felt like a pretty good year for gaming. Last year I was a bit bummed because some of the games were a bit mediocre and they didn't have great DLCs. But this year I felt like it was a really fun year of gaming. So yeah, let's just get right to it. Let's start with the 2019 games, and the first one that I want to mention is Mordhau. Mordhau is a lot of fun. If you haven't played it before, it's just really difficult, but you can still have fun while playing it. It's like that first-person medieval fighting game. It's kind of like Mount and Blade, but it's kind of hilarious when you play it, and it's pretty gruesome, and it's very challenging. Let's go right to the next one. This one I actually have not played as much as I would have liked to because I love the Total War series, so Total War 3 Kingdoms. I only played it for about 11 hours, which is really surprising for a Total War game. I just haven't really had a chance to get really into it and play it a lot. Also because you'll see from a little bit later on in the video that I did play a lot of Total War Warhammer 2 still, so like a lot of my Total War hours went to that, and by the time 3 Kingdoms came out, I just didn't get around to playing a full campaign. And the campaign I did play, I got totally destroyed on, so I had to kind of re-roll and play it again, and I just never really got around to finishing a campaign. 11 hours is really short for a game like this, but it was a pretty fun game. I enjoyed it. Risk of Rain 2, I played it for about 13 hours. This is a game that will probably go, like if I made another co-op games to play with friends, like really good co-op games to play with friends, I would probably put this game in there. Risk of Rain 2 is a really fun, like it's an action, what is it? It's like a third-person action rogue-like game. It was really fun to play it. A lot of different builds, a lot of RNG, a lot of different things go on with it. The screen is just filled with a whole bunch of effects. It's a really fun game. Highly recommend it, especially if you have friends to play it with. Solo, it's still a good time. I played almost all the time solo because I couldn't get my friends to buy it. But if you can get your friends to buy it, it's a really fun game. Devil May Cry 5, played that one for about 15 hours. That's the whole game. That's all it really takes to play it. I'm not very good at this game, so you could probably even beat it faster, or if you turn up the difficulty, it might take a little longer. This game was a ton of fun. It's my first Devil May Cry game, and I gotta say that these games are pretty amazing. I had a lot of fun with it. It's really cheesy, but it's over the top and perfect in what it does, and it's really beautiful to look at, and the animations on the combat are absolutely phenomenal. So this is a really great game to pick up. If you can get it on sale, it'd be great, but it's totally worth the full price, even though it's not, you know, like a full 100-hour game or something like that. It's a really enjoyable 15 hours that I had with it, and I played that actually really early in the year. So this is a game I'm playing right now. I just got it during the winter sale. It's Red Dead Redemption 2. It is on this 2019 list because for PC players, you know, right? PC players, okay. We got it this year. I did wait till the winter sale to pick it up on Steam for 20% off, so I got it on sale at least. And this game is turning out to be something else entirely. Like, I now realize why it was so hyped last year when console players were playing it. I think it was on both the PlayStation and the Xbox. And I'm getting why that it was so hyped. This is quite an incredible game, and I still only had like 16 hours in it, but this is going to be one that I'm going to be continuing to play in 2020, and in January I think most of my time, my gaming time, will be taken up by Red Dead Redemption 2. There's a lot to do in this game, and I really just am looking forward to continually to play it. It's a pretty cool game. Anno 1800, I was able to get this on Steam before it got ripped from the store and went to Epic Games and the Ubisoft launcher, the Uplay launcher. So I got it at least on Steam, which was really cool. This is a really good game. I played it for about 23 hours. And it holds up really nicely to that Anno style that I really liked in Anno 1404 or 1440, whichever one it was called, the Dawn of Discovery. So this is a game that I didn't really hear about until it was already out. It's called Outward. Yeah, I played this one for about 30 hours. This is I actually didn't finish it, to be honest. I think I stopped playing it at a certain point and then just never got around to coming back to it. And when I did get back to it, I was kind of already tired of it. But it's quite a cool game to play. I did not get a chance to play it co-op, but I heard that playing co-op is a lot of fun. So that might be a big selling point if you're looking for something to play with like one friend. That Outward might be a good game to pick up for it. It was pretty fun. It's definitely kind of like a walking simulator, resource management, survival game. I had a lot of fun playing it. All right, so Remnant from the Ashes. Play this one for about 35 hours. This is a really good game to play with friends. I was able to get my friends to buy this one, so we had a lot of fun playing it. I highly recommend Remnant from the Ashes, especially if you have friends to play it with. It's a really, really good co-op game to play. It's kind of Dark Souls in its style, where it's difficult and you have like the bonfires and hard bosses with mechanics, but you got guns, and it just is really fun to play. It's really challenging, but once you start getting past all that stuff, it's really a great experience. The only thing I didn't like about it is the story, and the game's last boss is absolutely terrible, and I did not have fun with that at all. But the co-op experience is really good. That makes this game really worth picking up. I had a lot of fun with this one. Outer Worlds. This might be my game of the year, my favorite game that I played in 2019. And I'll go to the end of the video. I'll talk about what I think is my game of the year, but it's most likely going to be Outer Worlds. I had a lot of fun with this one. It's pretty much what you want a Fallout game to be without actually being a Fallout game. Even when I got towards the end of the game, I was like, oh, I have to go through this quickly to get to the next game I wanted to play, but I just couldn't. I had to do every single thing. I had to talk to every single NPC. I had to do every single quest except for like a couple fetch quests at the end that I just didn't bother with because I picked them up too late. The companions are great. The story is amazing. The dialogue is fantastic. I was just glued to the screen when I was playing this. Like, I was so interested in every single line every single NPC had to say, which is one of my favorite things. I love games with really good story, and this game has it. The combat was okay. I just made a speech character who was really good, like very charismatic, and get all those speech checks down. So the combat to me was just like an after, like it was there and it was fine. The guns were not very interesting, but the dialogue and the story and the writing, was just so well done that I highly recommend that you consider getting the Epic's game launcher to play Outer Worlds. If you're lucky enough to get it on Xbox, the PC Game Pass, do that. But I was going through like 4 hours of troubleshooting, trying to get Windows to update to the required update that you had to have to play Outer Worlds, and I couldn't do it, so I just caved and I got it on the Epic's game launcher because I already had Borderlands 3 installed on my computer. So I was like, oh, I already have it there, I might as well just get Outer Worlds on there. Kingdom Under Fire 2, it's played this one for 45 hours. I think I played this one for 45 hours too long. This is a game that I really wanted to like. When I heard about it, I was really hyped about it. I was very interested in this game. I love MMORPGs, I love action RPGs, and I love RTS games, as you can know from Total War games. And so when I saw that they were mashing it all up together, even though it is an Eastern MMO, I do play a lot of them. I mean, obviously, if you are subscribed to my channel, you know I did a lot of Black Desert Online videos. And so I was really excited to play this. It is not a very good game. I highly recommend you avoid this game. It's just not worth playing. I did have fun with it, but I also was bored out of my mind during it. There's just two phases to the game, and the MMORPG phase is way below average. It's so unacceptable. It's just the worst MMORPG experience you'll ever have. But then the RTS side is a lot of fun, but as you get towards the end game, that fun level of it starts to decrease with the grindiness and the amount of lag and poor optimization in the game. That, like, if you really did want to pick this game up, just don't participate in the end game stuff. Like, people are always saying, oh, the end game is great, but it's so laggy, it's so grindy, that I just lost interest by the time I got there. By the time you finally get there, which might take you 30 or more hours to finally get there, you're just it's usually just gonna either lose interest or you're gonna keep going. So like you can look at the gameplay, look at reviews, try to make your best judgment on this one. But for me, I kind of regret playing it. I had fun with it for what it was, but I'm glad that I'm over it and I'm done with this game. But unlike Under Fire 2, Greedfall is an amazing game. I played this one for 47 hours, a really great story in this one. The combat is okay, but I had a ton of fun with this game. It was kind of like, just like how Outer Worlds was kind of developing with like, okay, they're like a Fallout, well, they're the Fallout developers, and then they were making their own version, like Obsidian was making their own Fallout version with Outer Worlds without using anything from Fallout. So Greedfall, it kind of feels the same way with kind of Dragon Age, but on a kind of a double A quality budget here. And it's a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun playing this one. I really like the story. I like the characters. It's a really fun game. I enjoyed it a lot. Not a lot of replayability for me personally, but yeah, if you go ahead and look at this one, I recommend getting this one up on sale if you can get a chance, or just getting it for full price. I think it's very, very well worth it. I had a lot of fun playing Greedfall this year. So unlike the Division 1, the Division 2 is okay. Like, it was really fun with friends, and I think that's about it. Like, I played for 77 hours. I did not put very much solo time into this game. I tried to, but I really just couldn't. I did not like the loot system on this one. It was just not very fun to play at the end game. The leveling process was a ton of fun, like how it always is, but it did not hook me as much as Division 1 did. Maybe it was the setting, partly probably because of how they did the end game stuff. But with friends, it was a lot of fun, and I don't think you should pick this up unless you have friends to play it with. But Division 2 was a fun game, played it for a lot, but that's really all I'm going to say about that one. Borderlands 3, this is another Epic Games exclusive until it comes out on Steam eventually. This is a game that has one of the worst stories ever, but people will say, oh, it's a Borderlands game, it's not meant for story. But it's so bad that, like, at a certain point I took that dialogue audio slider and I just put it to 0 because I just couldn't stand it anymore. There's a couple good missions in there, but most of it is just a cringe fest that's just really painful to go through. But what Borderlands 3 excels at, and why it's such a great game that I really enjoyed playing this year, played it for about 96 hours. I had a lot of fun playing this game. The combat, the guns, the loot is just a lot of fun. It was just really enjoyable to play this. The reason probably I will never go back to this game, or why I'll be more reluctant to come back to this game, is I played around a time after, like a month after it released, and I played it for a few weeks really hard, went at it for a lot of time, got my builds all set up, had a really cool Moze build I finally got to a point that it was really viable, and then the round of nerfs started happening, and the way that they updated their game was just pretty much taking characters you like and then making them useless, taking legendary guns that you liked and then making them useless. So it was really difficult to continue playing this game just because of all the updates they were making to it. We're just making it extremely hard to keep up with anything. 2019 games I played the most, and it's a lot of fun. Definitely play this with friends. Don't play this solo. It's just not worth playing it solo, but it's really, really fun playing with friends. Like this game, the Division 2, Remnant from the Ashes, and Risk of Rain 2, Mordhau even, are really great co-op games from 2019 that if you have some friends that will pick the games up with you. A lot of fun stuff came out in 2019. I should make another co-op video. All right, so those are the games that I played in 2019 that are from 2019. I think for sure my favorite game of the year from this bracket, and I think from all the brackets, just in terms of just overall, would be Outer Worlds. I had a lot of fun with that one. Kind of the later half of this year, I just had back-to-back great games that I was playing, just from like Borderlands 3, Greedfall, Outer Worlds, Kingdom Under Fire 2, Red Dead Redemption 2, where I just had these big chunks of games, these chunky games, where I was just playing a lot of hours into it. I had a lot of fun towards the end of the year. Now I'm going to go into all the other games I played this year, because there's a lot of games I played a lot of hours of, especially like one like Path of Exile. I played that a lot. So I'm going to go through every bracket again like I did in my last video, and just go through these games a little bit more quickly and talk about some 2018 games, 2017 games that I also played this year. Just because, I'm like you guys. I'm just an average gamer that doesn't really keep up year to year with every single new release. I try to play as many new releases that interest me, but anything that doesn't, I'll just skip it and go without it. Like Sekiro, I did not play Sekiro because those games don't really interest me. The Dark Souls style, Bloodborne games, except for Remnant for the Ashes was really fun. I really enjoyed that one. Dead Cells, I played it for 6 hours. It's a 2018 game. I got it during the Steam summer sale this year, actually. And this is a really fun one. Really recommend it if you like these 2D action roguelike games. It was a lot of fun to play it. Like Ring of Elysium, we only played that for 8 hours. My friends and I haven't really played that many BRs this year, thankfully. For us at least, we're no longer that interested, or we have never really been that interested in BR games. Another fun co-op one that we just started this year is Deep Rock Galactic. That's a really kind of a fun exploration, Left 4 Dead styles, like hordes of aliens attacking you while you're mining type game. I'm kind of already burnt out on it, but if my friends are playing it, if they're like, if it's going to be like a 4 stack, then I'll jump in and play it with them because you can have a good time for a couple hours. But it's just one of those games that I'm just not that interested in playing it for a prolonged amount of time. Played a little bit more Freeman Guerrilla Warfare. Just played it for like 9 hours. Monster Hunter World is one I picked up during the Steam Summer Sale as well. That was for I played that for about 10 hours. It's a really good game. I really like it. I just never really got into it. It didn't really sink me in with that kind of like the loop of fighting big monsters and doing all that kind of stuff. So I haven't really gotten really into it that much. Maybe I'll play it a bit more this year. If I wanted to get into like that new the Iceborne expansion or whatever. But yeah, so I might get back into it in 2020, but I might not because 2020 is pretty stacked with a lot of games coming out. This game was kind of a dud. Warhammer 40k Inquisitor Martyr. It's an ARPG. I love ARPGs. One of my favorite genres, the isometric ARPGs like Path of Exile and Diablo. Diablo 1, Diablo 2, Diablo 3, the whole thing. One of my favorite genres, but this game was not that great. I did get my friends to buy it, and I think they all regret it. And yeah, I regret it too. It wasn't that good of a game. And maybe I'll give it another chance, maybe I won't. We'll see. All right, so this is a game that I was playing at the end of last year. I totaled of 34 hours, but this year, because I think last year I had a few hours already played of it, so this year I spent like 25 hours on it. This was like pretty much right after I finished making the 2018 video. It's Vampyr. I really like this game. Of course, if you noticed any kind of style here, I really like the story-based driven games, the RPG with choices. But just like Outer Worlds had a lot of choices and dialogue, Vampyr also has a lot of choice and dialogue. You're playing kind of like a reluctant vampire doctor, and I played it more as a vampire doctor who doesn't want to be a vampire and still trying to help people. And so I really enjoyed this one. This is a really cool game. If you haven't played it yet, you probably can get it on sale. It's a really good game. Here's a game that I played a lot last year, which is Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I know from my last video, I did play the first episode of the Legacy of the First Blade. I did play all of that DLC, and I played the other DLC, Fate of Atlantis. Legacy of the First Blade, worst DLC you can ever play in your life. I hated it. It was absolutely garbage. But Fate of Atlantis was a lot of fun. Highly recommend you get that if you already have Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I would even say getting Assassin's Creed Odyssey, playing that as quickly as possible. It's a long game. And then getting to Fate of Atlantis, because Fate of Atlantis was a really good DLC. All right, so let's just get to the 2017 games. Those are the 2018 games. The 2017 games, I'm just trying to see if there's anything even worth mentioning on this. I did try to get into Divinity 2 Original Sin. You're going to see Divinity 2 Original Sin on every single one of these lists. I got 5 more hours into that game. It's just really hard for me to get hooked to this. I know it's a good game, but it's just really not clicking for me quite yet. So maybe I'll give it another chance again this year, but we'll see. Ghost Recon Wildlands, we played it again. I think the Fallen Ghost DLC. Dungeons 3 is really fun. Got that during the Steam Summer Sale. Only played it for 6 hours, but it was pretty fun. Game that I'm playing now that is super addicting, very dangerous. I got it during the winter sale, the winter Steam sale, the Steam winter sale. It's Weapon Shop Fantasy. Played it already for 7 hours. This game is scary in terms of how much time will go by as you're playing it. I will be sitting at my computer. I'm like, oh, let me just open this up real quick and play it. And then 3 hours will go by. It's 2 a.m. in the morning. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what happened? And so, really cool game. I'm going to probably be playing it a lot more in 2020. Whenever I'm not feeling like playing Red Dead, I'll be probably playing this while watching TV or listening to music. It's a lot of fun, super addicting. Really, really fun loop that it has going with it. And so if it's your style, I would say pick it up with caution. Elix. I tried to get into Elix. This is around the time during the Steam Summer Sale. It's another game I picked up during the Steam Summer Sale. I played it for about 10 hours, but then another game came out, and I pretty much just switched to something else after playing it. I didn't get very far in it, and I probably won't come back to it. So yeah, that's that game. But unlike that, another game I got during the Steam Summer Sale is Agents of Mayhem. I actually had a lot of fun with this. I put the 23 hours into this one. I don't regret it. I think this was a really fun game. I know a lot of people didn't like this game because it was supposed to be like Saints Row, but it had nothing to do with Saints Row in terms of just like taking kind of like that Saints Row lore and just kind of taking it in a direction that a lot of people didn't want from it. It was a very different style of play. It kind of felt like, you know, a single player Overwatch game where you had a cycle of different characters that do different abilities. But I had a lot of fun with it. I just played with the story and unlocked the new heroes as they would come along, and I had fun playing it. And to me, it was a good time. And I got it during that summer sale. It was one of the only Steam summer sale games that I bought that I actually finished. So I think it's a really fun game. If it's on sale, I would consider picking it up. So yeah, go ahead and take a look at that and see if it's something that is something that you would like to play. If you liked Saints Row but are okay with something that's different but still with that same kind of theme with it, Agents of Mayhem was pretty fun. I had a really good time playing this one. The Total War game that I did play a lot more was Total War Warhammer 2. I just really like the Total War Warhammer games. They have been like blending two of my favorite things about just, you know, fantasy, medieval fantasy elements and that real-time medieval strategy game, just like Medieval 2 Total War is one of my favorite Total War games. And then also because of the actual base game and the Third Age mod that came from that. And so Warhammer was like the official version of that kind of world, that mashup between fantasy and Total War games. And so I played the Tomb Kings and Vampire Coast DLC this year. I played for about 84 hours. A lot of fun. Really enjoyed going back into this world, playing the Mortal Empire campaign as the Tomb Kings and then as the Vampire Coast. I had a lot of fun with it. And I hopefully maybe I'll play it again, or by the time, I mean, I probably will play another campaign by the time Total War Warhammer 3 comes out, and I cannot wait for Total War Warhammer 3. Yeah, not a lot of 2016 games. I played Watch Dogs 2 a little bit, and I might come back to it, I might not. I kind of wanted just to play it because I played Watch Dogs 1, didn't finish it. So I wanted to play Watch Dogs 2 before Legions came out because that game looks really cool. Good thing they delayed it, so I have a little bit more time to go back to Watch Dogs 2. But the big game in 2016 that I played again, that most of my subscribers are from on this channel, is Black Desert Online. I went really hard on Black Desert Online again in the summer for about a month and a half. I probably have over 1,000 hours total of gaming in general, but I don't know the exact number because Black Desert Online doesn't really log how many hours you're playing, which is probably a good thing because it's probably a lot. So it's not really included in that total, but I'm pretty sure it would be a lot higher if those hours were logged at all. But I had a lot of fun playing Black Desert Online again, and I always say this after I played that I'm probably done with it forever. But we'll just have to wait and see at that point. I got kind of obsessive with it over the summer, and I even made like a little portraits of all my characters, headshots. Yeah, but yeah, I had a lot of fun playing it, and there is a new class coming out eventually. Maybe I'll go back and look at it again. But I probably will never be putting that much time straight again in Black Desert Online. But yeah, that's Black Desert Online. I mean, that's what it does to you. The big 2013 game of the year, and this is the most I've ever played of it, is Path of Exile. I went really hard on Path of Exile this year just because of how repetitive and just not interesting Diablo 3 has been in terms of the seasons were just not that fun, and the seasons with the circles was so uninteresting that I just like, okay, I'm going to actually give Path of Exile a chance. And I played a good chunk, like 136 hours of it. I really like Path of Exile. It's a lot better than I thought it was going to be, and it's really that nice little kind of blend between like that spiritual successor to Diablo 2. And I'm really looking forward to what they do for a PoE 2 or the PoE 4.0 update, where they do the graphical overhaul and they have that new story campaign. So I'm really looking forward to PoE 2. And of course, the 2020 game, Diablo 3. Always play Diablo 3, always play one of the seasons. We played it for 82 hours this year. Played it with my friend and I. And we had a good time with it. We always have a good time in Diablo 3. So we actually put a lot of hours in ARPG. So we play both, okay? So we don't just play PoE or D3. We play both. We play both Path of Exile and we play Diablo 3. And we have a lot of fun with each one. Like, actually, this year we kind of went Diablo 3, Path of Exile, Diablo 3, Path of Exile between leagues. as the Diablo 3 leagues, Diablo 3 seasons were interesting. We played that. When they weren't, we played Path of Exile leagues because those are really fun to play as well. And so like we just bounce back between the two. So that's a lot of fun. So I mean, you don't have to pick one or the other. You can play both. That's totally acceptable. And then I tried again to play The Witcher, the first Witcher, The Witcher Enhanced Edition. I got 3 hours into it, much further than I ever got. Maybe I'll give it another go because I loved the Witcher Netflix series. Binged it in pretty much 2 days technically, but it was like within a day. I did like after work on Friday when it came out, 6 hours straight. Went to bed, woke up, finished the last 2 hours. And so I watched it very quickly and I loved it. I am now reading the books because I just want more Witcher lore. I love, of course, Witcher 2, Witcher 3, great games. But earlier this year, I tried to play the first Witcher, but I couldn't get into it. So I got Thronebreakers, The Witcher Tales. So I'll be probably playing that to get more of that Witcher fix into it. But yeah, so those are kind of all the games I played this year in 2019. For me, it was a really good year. I had a lot of fun playing all of these games. They were a lot of fun for me. I had a really good stretch of games in the last few months. I had a lot of fun with those. So real quick before you go, I had the winter sale. The games I got on the winter sale. I got like Darkest Dungeon. I got Doom that I'm going to be playing after Red Dead. I just really want to play that before the new Doom comes out. I got what is it? I got Game Dev Tycoon. I had that on my tablet way back when, and I kind of just got it again because it's a really fun game making simulator. Ori and the Blind Forest. Want to play that before the new one comes out, so I'm really excited to play that game. Of course, Red Dead Redemption 2, playing it now, really good game. And I just told you about Thronebreaker, The Witcher Tales, and then the Weapon Shop Fantasy. Those are my winter sale games that I got this year. Really excited to play all those games, and really looking forward to finishing Red Dead 2. So you'll pretty much hear all those games on my next list of games that I played in 2020. So that's what's coming up next. I'll probably, hopefully, be making more videos. I'll see what comes up, what doesn't come up. But yeah, if you got it this far, thank you for watching. Really appreciate you guys sticking around and watching these videos. I really enjoy making. I know those videos usually aren't the greatest for getting views on, but I have a lot of fun making them. And I still go back sometimes when I watch my 2019 video, and I really wanted to make this one so that when I do make a 2020, my 2018 video, so when I do make a 2020 video, that I have now a 2018, 2019, 2020. I think they're really fun to do at minimum. I'll try to do my best to always at least minimum once a year make a video like this. I had a good year of gaming. Had a lot of fun, a lot of great TV shows as well. Especially towards the end of the year was really stacked with games and TV shows because like by the end of the year, I mean you got The Watchmen, The Mandalorian, and The Witcher, and then you had like by the end of the year you had like Borderlands, Greedfall, The Outer Worlds, and Red Dead. It was completely stacked. What a great end to 2019 for me. So I'm really looking forward to 2020 because a lot of those games are going to be rolling over, especially Red Dead. A lot of more games to play. And you got 4 months until you got to play Cyberpunk 2077. So really looking forward to that. So again, thanks for watching up to this video. I really appreciate you guys watching this. Subscribe, like the video, comment below on all the kind of games that you guys played this year. Really interested to seeing what other like niche titles people have been playing because I kind of go mainstream, but sometimes it just takes me a while to get to those games. But yeah, all right. So until you see me again in another video, I think I said everything I needed to say. Yeah, take it easy until next time.